only got one earring on. Where am I going? Let me go get my life. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video, we're going to be discussing 5 ways to get over heartbreak. If you have not seen my previous video on my breakup story, I suggest you go watch it. Grab some popcorn, some wine, child, because it's interesting. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to take my Kiehl's. Really? Are you serious? So first I'm going to start with applying my Kiehl's facial cream. I literally love this cream. It works for all skin types. It's the bomb. Next, I'm going to take my Fenty Beauty primer. So I came up with a list of 5 things to do, or things to do to get over a breakup. And I'm going to speak on my personal experience and what I did to get over a heartbreak. So the first thing that we want to discuss is acceptance. Now, this step, I have them in no particular order, but acceptance is literally the first part of it. Like, it's the only way that you're going to truly get through it. It's the only way that, you're going to be able to live your life to the fullest, afterwards, because life does move on. And I have like some notes here, so I'm just like kind of making sure that I stay on topic and don't start rambling. I'm going to try this Maybelline Superstay foundation. I picked it up in the shade 320, so I don't really know how this gonna work, but we finna see. First part is understanding that it's okay to feel however you feel about the situation. If you're mad, if you're angry, if you're sad, whatever the emotions are that you feel behind what happened, it's okay. Acceptance is not blame. Acceptance is not blaming yourself for what happened. It's not blaming the other party for what happened. It's simply accepting that this event happened in my life and I want to move on from it. I want to grow from it. I want to be a better person because of it. I'm going to be taking my Morphe concealer in 315 to highlight. Give yourself room to breathe and to just, experience those emotions. Breakups are tough, and regardless of what anyone says, they're traumatic events, depending on the severity of what happened. Now, as you go through the process of dealing with the breakup, that's when the ownership of, your part in the relationship, the other party's part in the relationship, that's when all of that takes place. Give yourself some freedom and some room to grow, to experience those emotions. Bottling the emotions up and trying to just get past it will not make for a clean transition into your new journey. When I was going through my breakup, I just wanted it to be over. I didn't want to experience the heartbreak. I didn't want to feel, stupid and just like, how could this happen? First of all, it can happen to anyone. For whatever reason you broke up with a person, that can happen to anyone. Me, and having dated someone who had children that I didn't know about, that could happen to anyone. And it's happened to several people. And I didn't even mention this, but I just want to thank everyone who reached out to me and supported me after I posted my video. It really meant a lot. And I also received so many messages of people who experienced the same exact thing that I did, or something very similar. And I'm just like, what? That's crazy. I mentioned to a few people, I was hesitant about posting the video because I didn't want to feel like I was being judged, or I didn't want people to think like, how could you allow that to happen to yourself? I'm so glad I posted it because I got an amazing response from it, and that's all that matters. I'm going to take this Milani cream to powder foundation to contour with. So these type of things happen to everyone, regardless of how careful we are to, do our research and look up and ask about the people. This stuff happens. Like, it's life. No one's perfect. No one's exempt from failure. No one's exempt from heartbreak. We all experience it at some point in life. So just accept that this was my turn to learn this lesson. So the next thing I want to talk about is having a support system. Support systems are so important in healing and life in general. So for me, during my process, I relied heavily on my sister, my mom, and therapy. I've said this before, therapy literally helped your girl to the max. I am a firm believer and strong advocate for therapy, finding the right person that you trust, and not only just like trust, because obviously that's their profession, but that you trust to give you good advice, that you trust to relate to you, because it's not just about talking to anybody, it's about talking to that person that you feel a connection with, who you trust and view as someone who can give you sound advice, if that makes sense. I think if you've gone through the process of therapy, you understand what I'm saying. They're not all created equally. You have to get the person that fits you, and you know, vice versa. If you can and it's within your budget and your means, please try it out, at least for once. It's so worth it. Have a support system. Talk to trusted friends, or not even just friends, trusted people, ears that will you trust to give you good sound advice. I suggest you reach out to them, spend more time with them. Bottom line, don't be alone. I almost fell for it, but I realized that, okay, this isn't right. Like, I shouldn't just be alone through this process. I should have someone with me who can encourage me, who can help me move past this and not sulk in pity is ultimately what it boils down to. Now I'm going to take this Dermablend loose setting powder. This is literally my favorite setting powder. It works on all skin tones, all skin types. I use it for all my clients. Figure out people who will listen to your problems and not judge you, who will not spread your business to everyone else. Find someone or people, just who you trust, that is not going to throw the situation into your face and is not going to try to tell you what to do, but just to be supportive. Don't allow yourself to sit around and just think about everything that happened in the past, because there's no power in the past. If you're going through hell, why stop there? For what? Keep moving, keep pushing, because life gets better. Trust me, it gets better. I'm gonna take this Fenty Beauty bronzer in Caramel Cutie. The next point I want to make is to journal. Journaling is so important. I have been journaling since I was younger, like I think middle school I started journaling. And it's basically a way to release energy that you feel you don't really want to talk about, or you don't really have anyone to talk about. And it's just like a safe space. Like, I don't really know how to describe it. It's like a person that's not really there, but they're always there. My God. Not only is it good and therapeutic for you to get your feelings and emotions out, it's also a way to timestamp events that happen in your life. I look back at things that I was journaling, during the time of my breakup and just over life. And I'm looking at how the things that I planned and aspired to have in life, how I have it now, because I, journaled it and spoke it and believed it. Like, it's crazy. Like, the power of journaling will literally help you get through so much. Like, if you've ever had a conversation with me and we've had like one of those talks, and a few people have, and we've, had those deep talks, you know that the first thing I always say is, have you journaled it? Have you thought about journaling? Do you write? It's so important because it helps you really release stuff that you don't feel comfortable talking about in that moment. Several times that I've, felt upset, hurt, sad, and it's not like I didn't have anyone to talk to. It's just that the way that I wanted to speak it and say it, I knew it probably wouldn't come out right, or, I didn't feel comfortable with talking about it. But writing it allows me to have no filter. And I think writing does that. On another note, I was journaling this time last year about how I wanted this year to be. And as I'm like just looking back, and literally so many things that I had planned and written in declarations that I had scripted have come to pass, and I didn't even realize it until I went back and looked at what I was journaling. I've now found myself writing every day because it's so powerful, and I feel so like, I don't know, I feel like a different person. It could be good things, like several days or, you know, times I have written in my journal where I'm just really excited, really happy, really motivated, really inspired. I want that energy to be, you know, written down as well, because life isn't all bad moments. The last thing you want to do is open a book of purely bad moments. That's not healthy. I want to set my highlight a little more. I'm going to set it with this Makeup Forever Velvet Skin in Y255, and I just like to take it with my beauty blender and go over where I highlighted and set it just a little bit more. I like to go in with the matte velvet skin in this shade because it's more closest to my complexion, and go everywhere that I didn't apply contour or highlight. I like to go in those areas and set. Now I'm going to take this Morphe blush palette, and I think I want to use Hot. This is literally one of my favorite ones. Next point I want to make is to be excited about the future. Like when I tell you that sometimes circumstance can have you thinking that where you are is where you'll always be, sometimes that happens. But it's so important to not buy into that thought. Don't buy into the fact that whatever happens is where I'm going to be. That is not true. Think about all the great things that you'll accomplish. Think about all of the great relationships you'll make, all of the amazing people that you'll meet. Think about the perfect partner. That is what helped me. Every time, and I learned this through therapy, every time that I would think about my ex and the relationship that didn't work out, I would think about my perfect partner. Now, I'm not married, obviously, yet, but I think about the man that God has for me. Like, I think about the fact that a man was born onto this earth specifically for me, and that's it. Crazy. Everything that I need in a partner, this man has. And I'll have everything that this relationship lacked. So, obviously, you know, no one's perfect, and you don't get a list of a perfect person, but what you need in your life, there is someone specifically for that. And that's something to be excited about. I don't really like to contour my nose because I just don't. I prefer to just redefine it. And by redefine, I mean I take this Makeup Forever powder that's my skin tone, and I just go and outline my nose. I don't like for my nose to be another nose. I like it to stay how it is. Thank God we can smell. I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows off camera. I'm gonna start with using this Morphe palette in 9D. I'm gonna take this shade, go right above the crease with this color, and feather it kind of into the brow. The last point that I want to make is I am statements. When I tell you these statements helped me so much, I didn't understand the power in them until I started using them. I am statements are statements that you say to yourself to speak into existence the things and the desires that you want. For instance, I am rich, I am blessed, I am healthy, I am sane, I am whatever your I am statements would be. For me, going through my breakup, I would say I am healed, I am whole, I am valuable. So I'm gonna take the Jackie Aina palette with Anastasia, and I'm gonna go into Ginger to deepen that crease. Those I am statements really helped me get through that tough situation, and I use those even now that I'm past it and over it. I use those statements to help encourage me for the future and to speak into existence the things that I want. Whatever I envision and desire, I have. And I think it's so beautiful how we're able to access that and how God gifts us with those tools needed to be great, because he didn't put us on this earth to lack or to suffer or to, you know, be depressed. It happens. We experience life, but it's not the end goal. Now I'm gonna take this Jaclyn Hill and Morphe palette, the first one. I wanna take this brown and go into my crease a little more because it's not bronzing like how I want. I hope I'm making sense to y'all and sharing my stories inspirational, because all in all, that's what I want. You don't know the future. Like, you don't know what's gonna happen, so it's hard to believe that something great is gonna happen, but that's the beauty in it. You have to believe that something's great is gonna happen. Things change and circumstances change, so you have to believe that, understand it, and accept it. Life will be great. It has no choice but to be. So now I'm just gonna go back in that Jackiana palette and take Dwala's. Put this on my lid. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish my eyes off camera, put my lashes on, and I'm gonna come back with a summary of our 5 topics. I love the way this stuff smells. So guys, I finished up my makeup. As a recap, those 5 ways to get over a breakup are acceptance, accepting that whatever happened, happened, and understanding that acceptance is not blame. It's simply accepting the circumstance and moving on. Number 2, a support system. Having trusted people around you who can encourage you and motivate you to keep going. I had my mom, my sister, and therapy. I highly recommend therapy if you can. 3, journaling. Journaling is so therapeutic. It helps you get out your thoughts, your emotions, and your feelings without having to feel like you're being judged or misunderstood or whatever. Number 4, be excited about the future. Life moves on, regardless of how bad, how hurtful, how depressing it may be at this moment. The future is so much brighter. Think about all of the great things you'll be doing once this is behind you, in your past. It already is in your past, but once you get over it and move on, life is gonna be great. So be excited about the future. Number 5, those I am statements. I am statements are so important. They're so beneficial for growth, and not just when you're going through something, but also in those moments where you feel like you're on top of the world. It's so important to keep blessing yourself and speaking positivity over yourself and loving yourself, and I am statements help you do that. So for me, I would put my I am statements as my screensaver on my phone. So whenever I looked at my phone, I would recite those statements in my mind, and it helped me get through. It helped me understand that I am everything that I think I am. I am everything that I say I am. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be fine. I hope this video was helpful. I hope that everything that I have shared, you're able to learn something from it and grow from it. So guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.